welcome to God's Principles for Healthy Relationships. This is Season 2, and my name is Debbie Raj, and I'm here with my husband, Martin. We are life and relationship coaches, and the topic today is real doesn't need a hashtag. So basically, intimacy versus Instagram, and how those two many times can kill each other up.
Comparison is not a new thing, right? Comparison has been there for a long time. In fact, when I was working back in India, at one point in my life, I used to do sales, door-to-door sales. And one of the things that they taught me was to go and knock on a house door. And if a lady comes out, just tell her the next door lady bought this thing. And immediately the house you knocked on, she will buy it as well. So, and it has been true in many cases. And yes, comparison has been there for years, decades, centuries, millennia. But now we can fit that comparison in our pocket. And that's called social media, specifically on Instagram. We scroll past all the highlight reels, we see relationships, we see people's lives, all hidden from the reality. All you see is just the beautiful rose-tinted glass that is showing everything beautiful, right? And we compare our lows with their highs. But here we want to remember that true intimacy is never filtered, it's formed. Galatians chapter 6 verse 4 says, "But let each one examine his own work, and then he will have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another." We want to remember that because many times we see other people, we compare ourselves, and we are very discontent. We are saddened because we constantly see different people going on vacation, and we are like, it's been 3 years since I've gone on a vacation. Why am I not able to go on a vacation? We don't know their financial circumstances that we see on screens. But is there a way we can work things out? Absolutely. But we do it because we need a vacation, not because we saw someone else going on a vacation.
No, it's a very real dynamic we're facing in this world right now with so much social media inspiring us in some ways, learning in others, but many times making us feel less, making us feel like, how can we get there? How can we have that body? How can we have that money? How can we have that life or that relationship? And so the key points for this episode, the first one is comparison, as Martin was sharing before, kills connection. And the more you compare, the less you connect. As I work with girls in this area, it's huge how much we compare. And they say there's so much competition. Like, you know, there's better girls, better looking, better maybe personalities, maybe better even degrees, whatever it might be. And that's making me so stressed. When I go to an event trying to find someone, this is what, they share with me, it's like, there's so much to compare with and to compete with. And so it can become very stressful, and you will connect less because instead of focusing on connecting, you're focusing on comparing. You're feeling less, and that's making your confidence lower and your expectations be higher, and you feel you never meet them, or maybe others never meet them. So envying the other's journey with your own journey, it's very damaging because each journey is so unique. We cannot really compare. We are completely different individuals, completely different personalities and lives and opportunities. And maybe we are like, oh, that person already, is in a relationship and I'm not. So we're comparing, and we're the same age, or we study together. But our times, God has a specific, unique time for each one of us. And if God let them, praise the Lord, we can rejoice and we can be like, wow, that's hope for me. They did it, now it's hope for me. But if they just rush into something, there's danger of divorce. And more we are seeing in our even peers, people we studied with, they're in their 30s or maybe late 20s, and they are already going through divorce. So it's really, really important not to compare our journeys, because we will have different ups and downs in our life. And comparing someone's progress and accomplishment, we will feel less. We will feel always like we're not enough. And comparing someone's fantasy or best moments with our worst or our real life is never a fair comparison. So if we really want to compare, even though it's not a good thing, we need to compare the whole thing. And the future, we don't know. So maybe someone now has a successful life, everything seems to be going well for them, but 2 years from now, maybe they're going to have a big struggle. So maybe we don't even want to have their life anymore. So it's very important to appreciate what God has given us, realize we are unique, and God's timing and plans for each human being is so special, and it's not like a same thing for everyone.
Absolutely. And it just reminds me of the time when I was comparing myself with some others. It was not necessarily social media, but in my personal life, there was something that I felt like I was stuck in one place and I was not able to move forward. I had all this mission mind, and I was all enthusiastic about moving forward, but I felt like I was stuck, and I was comparing myself with others, how they were progressing, how they have a better life. And Debbie would try to convince me, saying, don't compare yourself with others. It is hard for us not to do it, but we also have to be very intentional. And God brought me out of that, and right now with the ministry that we are doing, we are in a much better level than what I even thought we would be at. And I don't feel like stuck anymore. And other people don't have to go through a hard time for us to feel better. They are doing their own things and we are doing our own things. But for me, it made it very clear, I don't have to compare myself with others. I just have to trust and depend on God. The next point is social media feeds insecurity loop. Insecurity loop. Studies say that social media use is linked to lower relationship satisfaction and increased jealousy, and that's very, very true. Negative impacts of social media on relationship study, there is, we have taken it from medicalnewstoday.com, and they say functional impairments. The first point is basically functional impairments. Over-reliance on online interactions can reduce comfort and ability in forming and maintaining face-to-face relationships. I mean, it's common sense. The more you are on social media, the more you rely on online interactions, it's hard for you to feel comfortable when you have face-to-face interactions. You become awkward. We have seen few people. In fact, a few days ago, we were talking with some stranger.
Yeah.
He was in the pool with us, and he started sharing like how his son's peers were having a hard time to have face-to-face connection with other people. It's just so hard for them. And it's very true. It makes so much sense. A study at Prince Satam bin Abdulaziz University found that 59% of women age range between 17 through 29 reported social media had harmed their family and friendship connections, making in-person interaction harder. There are families that we have noticed where when the parents want to call the children to come down and eat, they have to call them on the phone or even text them because that is how the life has become. And when people are on the dining tables, they are on their phones. There is no personal face-to-face connection, even with the loved ones, even with the same blood family, right? And it just makes sense that people feel that, or people have experienced that families and friendships, the connections have been harmed and hurted because they are not able to have that personal connection anymore.
Wow. It's so true. It reminds me of when I was 19, I was in a mission school for almost a year, and we didn't have really so much phones, like everyone having phones at that time. This was like a few years ago, I think 2009. So it was like very different interactions. We could talk more, share. Everyone was more like present. I go there in 2016, like a few years later. Everyone has phones, everyone has WhatsApp, everyone is constantly in WhatsApp groups, texting everyone. And I was there visiting and helping in a program there, but I felt so disconnected from people. I was like, they don't even have time to talk. They have so many messages coming and all the time, like, oh, on their phone, that I was like, okay, well, whatever. And it really can ruin connections and relationships. So another part of this study found out from this that we are sharing what the study says, lower quality time and relationship satisfaction. So heavy Instagram use was linked to more conflict and lower satisfaction in relationships. Because it's somewhat like a pacifier. It's a nice, we think, distressor, but at the end, it's kind of more like an addiction because you're just feeling like the need to go and just spend time. It often triggers a cycle where dissatisfaction and conflict cause even more social media usage. And it also leads to pubbing. That means ignoring someone in person because you want to scroll your phone. And as Martin was sharing, sometimes we feel awkward just to look at people or start a conversation. Maybe we're a little more introverted. But if we don't develop some skills of being more present and not act like we're so busy with something so important in our phone, we are missing opportunities to connect. And this is creating a huge problem for starting relationships. Young people are not connecting necessarily face to face as well many times because of this social media and phone usage. And on our podcast that we have as a couple, we talked about there's one habit that if you can just, this habit can destroy your relationship or can help you build relationships. So even if you're married, it's good. If you're looking to get into a relationship, it's going to be great. Put your phone away. And we actually had to do that when we started our relationship. I was on a table, sitting down. It was like the small cafeteria of the wellness center we worked. And I was watching something. And when he came in, I was by myself. So I was just there with my phone and listening. And then he came in and I was like, okay, it's not really respectful to just like ignore someone. So I'm just going to turn it off and just connect and ask questions and like interact. And that was our first one-on-one interaction. And hey, it led us somewhere. So just saying, put the phone away.
And I can definitely agree with that because it really helped me to connect with her as well. Usually I'm used to people where, especially if you are still an acquaintance, they don't know you much. When I enter the room, they are usually on their phone and they are more focused on watching reels or shorts or TikTok and doing something else, and that's it. So I don't feel like asking questions or I don't feel like interacting because I don't want to disturb others when they are kind of busy. So I just wouldn't have much interaction and it goes off. But in this case, it really made a huge difference for me. I was like, wow, she turned off her phone just so that she can ask me questions and we can interact. That really meant a lot for me. I mean, of course, that was not the only reason for us to get into a relationship, but that was a starting point that caused us to talk with each other. It kind of made us to ask each other questions, to know more about each other. So that led to where we started having meals together and we would not have our phones. We would just talk and learn about each other, share about each other, our childhood, how we came to different things, or how was our school, all those experiences, and it made a huge, huge difference. So if you are seeking or trying to find someone, don't keep your phone or don't keep yourself occupied having your phone. Just be open. Someone might come and talk with you, or you might be able to talk with someone and start that conversation. The next point that the study also spoke about is facilitating infidelity related behavior. Facilitating infidelity related behavior. Social media makes it easier to connect with alternative partners, which can lead to dissatisfaction, of course, obviously, breakups, obviously, and even divorce. So today, right now, I can say Debbie can go to my phone, go on my phone, check my social media accounts, all the messages or whatever, my searches, everything. And I wouldn't feel scared, guilty, or she will not feel upset because everything is very transparent with her. How about you? If you have a partner, if you have a spouse, can they check right now and be confident and say, yes, you are the best person that I am with, and you are not cheating on me? Think about it. Think about it for a second. That is the extent we have gone to just because we feel like we are safe by doing mistakes. We are pushed to do those things. Why? Because you will not get caught. But God is watching us through all of this. And if you don't work on those things, if you don't work on this infidelity related behavior, you will get caught one day. Maybe you might not get caught by your spouse or your partner, but you will have to answer God. I remember watching this on social media. I remember seeing a picture of a tombstone that had a husband's name on it, or the father's name on it, whatever. And then the tombstone said, father or husband, father, and an adulterer. And then below that there was an inscription that said, yes, we knew you were committing adultery, on the tombstone. Wow. Imagine, you don't want that to be on your tombstone, and of course you don't want it to be in your heart. So it is very easy, and now that you have face recognition, you can have your apps where you can make it into face recognition so no one else can open it besides you. It is all kind of making it easy for you to live a double life. But is that what you want to live? Because when you start doing it, you will be really dissatisfied with the life that you are in. The reality, you will not be satisfied. You will have more and more issues with the spouse or with the partner. We don't want to end up like that, but we want God to say that we lived a virtuous life.
So we want to end with some management strategies that you can implement to protect relationships. And you can take note of these things if you really want to build intimacy and not have social media and distractions taking over. Number one, put phone away during shared times, meals, before bed, if you're married, like put the phone away. Just learn to connect with another human being, not just with social media people. Number two, pre-plan share activities and plan to limit screen time. So when we go for a date, we try to put our phones in airplane mode. We might need it for GPS or take pictures, whatever, but we try to limit all the distractions because it will kill intimacy. Number three, eliminate distractions by keeping devices outside of the bedroom. It's very easy to take the phone to the bedroom and people use the excuse, I need my alarm. But you can put the alarm in the room besides your bedroom or in the living room or in a bathroom. Plug your phone there, put your alarm, get out of bed and turn off the alarm, and you will have more quality time. If you're single, with yourself and God, you can have your devotion without so much distractions, because if you use your phone as your app for all the things you're reading, there's going to be always a temptation to just go and find 1,000 other things and then you forget what you really wanted to do. And the last thing is avoid interacting with exes over social media. So it's very easy to stay connected with people that in the past maybe we had interaction, interest, and it is dangerous because if there was some type of fire that kindled before, it can always rekindle again. And I myself, by experience, can say it does happen. And even there was an interest I had in the past. He was already engaged, but he lied to me and said he was free. So we were talking, but then he one day called me and says, I actually got married and now I'm having a child. But he wanted to share how much he still, loved me. And I was like, you need to stop. You're married now. So it can lead to chaos. If in your marriage or your relationship that you're committed, you have certain struggles and then someone else calls you and suddenly says, oh, how wonderful and this and that, it will make you question or feel emotionally entangled with someone else. And so we need to avoid those type of things. Be very careful. And I just want to share briefly, when we were in Austria this year, in a mission school there was something amazing that happened with the students. We were there and they had made a rule that in the table they wouldn't have their phones. The connection, the conversations we had was so much more deeper, meaningful. People were really not distracted, but really interested to know about each other. And we actually, for a whole month, went on a fast on our social media completely because we didn't even have connection, basically. So we realized that we were so addicted to Instagram that naturally our finger would go there because it was a habit to go and see something or post something or, follow up on whatever. And we were like, wow, we don't have to do that now. We have more time. We had better connections. We had better sleep. We had better quality time in the morning and in the evenings. And it was a huge, huge blessing. So give it a try. 1 or 2 days or even a week, try to disconnect a little bit and see how that can impact your life, and you will have a lot more time and peace.
And I do want to add another component to what Debbie was sharing, and that is that it was not like we cannot have our phone connection or we cannot have internet connection. We intentionally decided not to buy a SIM card. We intentionally decided to leave it as is because we are in a different country, we don't have a phone connection, and we were like, you know what, we won't use the phones. If anything, we will do it old style, not too old, but a little old. If anything, people can contact us through email or anything through computer, but not through our phones. And yes, the experience was beautiful. It was amazing. It all of a sudden it felt like we had a lot of time in our hands. Our connections with people was
In
deep.
person.
Yeah, in person. Our time with each other, we could go on walks. Man, it was a very different thing, and we could even go to bed earlier.
Yeah.
So give it a shot. But that is why we have the challenge for this episode. The challenge is the scroll fast. You're going to fast from scrolling. It's not scrolling quickly, but you're fasting from scrolling. You don't have to do it for too long. The first step is take just 24 hours of social media this week. Step 2, use the time to journal, pray, and connect face to face with someone you love, which has been really, really reduced these days. And step 3, ask yourself, what am I comparing with now during this fast? I'm going to repeat those 3 steps. Take 24 hours off social media this week. Use the time to journal, pray, and connect face to face with someone you love. 3, ask yourself, what am I comparing myself with? And you will start seeing a huge difference. You don't have to compare yourself with others. You are unique. Your lows shouldn't be compared with others' high. You don't have to have infidelity. And we pray that this episode will be a blessing to you and that you will make changes for a better quality life. We will see you in another one. God bless.